The teams for the Champions League last four are confirmed, and quite frankly, I think there's no other way to put it than money is king, and money has been king for a while. And while there have been holdouts over the years, a few teams that have straggled along and held on and maintained the belief that collectively as football fans, that money isn't everything, that you don't need money to be successful, such as Ajax in 2018-19, Tottenham, same season. The matter of the fact is that as the reality of the Super League becomes more of a concern, and with the new rules that are pretty much going to make Champions League qualification and participation restricted to a few clubs, the matter of the fact is that if you don't have money and if you don't have an exorbitant amount of money, there's basically no point for you to compete. And it's really a shame if you really think about it, because the last four teams, PSG, Real Madrid, Man City, and Chelsea, out of those four clubs, only one of them, Real Madrid, can be considered a historic club. And while there could be arguments made for how they got to a position in which they're also able to be so financially stable in this current day and age, the matter of the fact is that if you go back 60, 70 years, they were a big club. They've always been a big club. The other three clubs are not the same. Without the steroid-like injection, basically, of cash just 10, 15 years ago, those teams would not be where they are today. And I think what we're going to see over the next few years is, rather than those specific clubs being the most competitive, being the most successful, I think we're going to see more and more quote-unquote historic clubs being bought up by super mega billionaires just so they can compete. Because if you're seeing this now, if you're seeing the Champions League being monopolized in such a blatant way by teams that have a lot more money than the rest of their competition, it's really evident that other teams will wise up. That's how the sport moves. That's how most businesses and industries move. As soon as a competitive advantage has been realized, has been manipulated and taken advantage of, other teams wise up, other competitors wise up, and do best as they can to compete in that arena. So I wouldn't be surprised 5-10 years from now you find that Tottenham, Arsenal, Ajax, maybe even Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, clubs of that stature are owned by mega billionaires who are seeking to capitalize on the European Super League that is eventually going to come. So while we can be upset about the direction that football is heading in, I think the best thing to do is to be content, to be grateful in a sense for the fact that it hasn't gotten to that point yet, but also bear in mind that it will be that way very soon. I'm sure in 2005, when Chelsea won the league, there was a general sentiment that Chelsea were ruining football, etc., but no one would have expected that years later that what Chelsea did in essence was going to become the norm, was going to become the blueprint for success, essentially. And as far as I'm concerned, I think the best way to enjoy football is gonna just be to enjoy it purely for what you see on the pitch. Everything is moving at a very breakneck speed, and for you to be delusional, to think that things will be as they once were or how you envision them to be, it's ill-advised, if you ask me. So my advice to you, as a fellow viewer, is just take it in and enjoy what's there to be seen at the moment, and don't expect much more. Just be content with the fact that the game as it is still has some aspects to it that can be appreciated. You still have international competitions where, even though you always have your traditional favorites, some of the trends that are present in club competition aren't as pervasive and domineering in international football. So with all that said, I think the best thing that we can do as football fans is just enjoy what we have while we still have it.